Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel, My Crochet Story. You know, it's that time of the year again when the leaves are starting to turn, the air is getting a little bit chillier, crisper, and our crochet hooks are starting to just itch to get ready to work on something that is new and unusual possibly for the fall and winter. But before we dive into those patterns, let's talk about something that is super important for those of us that love to create, and that is the color trends for the fall and winter of 2025. So today I'm going to break down for you some of the key colors that have been showing up in fall fashion, home decor, and even up and down the runways. Of course, you know, fashion designers like to put their new styles and colors that they've chosen out, say, for fall and winter. They'll be out in January. You know, they do it in the off season so that we have lots of time to start looking to see when these colors pop out there in fabrics, or for us that are crocheters and knitters, with our yarn companies. So what I have found for you today is that what the color trends are for this fall and winter. Now, a lot of this I did through research of fashion magazines, of looking at, you know, like on Pinterest, even in looking at the colors that are chosen for our paints whenever we get ready to redecorate in our homes. So if you'll bear with me here for just a minute, we are going to take a look at what these color trends are looking like. But before I get to that, let me say welcome in to each and every one of you that show up every time I upload content. I'm so appreciative of your time, and yes, thank you so much for being here. If this is your first time here, welcome in. What a great time for you to come and join and see what it is that our colors have to offer us here in the fall and winter season. All I ask is that you be sure and hit that subscribe button. Look for that little bell notification that I always like to say has those cute hugs on the side, because it'll let you know every time I upload some content. So sit back, grab yourself something to sip on. I have my coffee here all ready to sip on whenever my throat gets a little dry. And pick up a project, or just sit back and take notes if you want to, but you don't really have to, because this video will be up anytime you want to come back and look and see what these colors are. So I've created a little slideshow for you. I'm going to show you what the color trends are, and in each color palette, the varying colors that you can use. You're not just locked into one shade. And if you stay with me until the end, I'm going to show you how some of these colors can be put together to create something beautiful. You don't have to go out there and buy a skein of yarn that already has multicolors in it. You can go out and buy them individually and create your own beautiful color palette. So give me just a minute so I can load that up, and we'll get to looking at all of these colors. Now, if any of you know anything about me and you've been following me for a while, you're going to see that I am extremely happy about this fall and winter's color palette, because folks, for the most part, they are my colors. So let's get into it. All right, so the first one that I want you to look at is, let's talk about our reds. This season, red is going to be making a strong statement. We're going to see everything from a very vibrant poppy red, I guess you would say, to a rich, sophisticated Mars red. And that means just, you know, the red like of the Mars planet. Or even a winterberry. But these aren't just going to be for pops of color. They need to be the center, the main topic of your crocheted piece or knitted piece. So how can we use this? Think really big. Think of a big chunky scarf, or maybe a bold sweater that's in a deep red. That would be absolutely perfect. Or if you want to make it a little more subtle, try incorporating red into like maybe a plaid or a houndstooth pattern. But You know, I really think that by using the red as a bold statement piece, you are saying, you're drawing attention to yourself. You're saying, look at me. There is just so much that you can do with red, not only making it the centerpiece, but think about using it as an embellishment or something else that you've already created. But you know, folks, I just think red, no matter what shade it is it just adds that wonderful, warm pop of color. Now, for me, in the red color schemes, I tend to go more towards those deeper reds like the cranberries, the maroons, and the burgundy. But I want to tell you something, I am not opposed as to using the bright reds like the Christmas red or the apple red. So play around with some of these reds, add them in, or as I said, make them your big bold statement. The next is our browns. And folks, what I've been seeing and even reading is that the browns that we're going to be looking at are like your hot chocolate. In fact, there's been several statements in which this year brown is going to be our new black. There's all these different shades between, as I said, the hot chocolate down into a French roast. If you've ever looked at coffee that's classified as a rich roast, French roast, it has that nice, rich, decadent quality to it. And all of these browns are wonderful for creating timeless, elegant pieces. And along with these browns, we have the wonderful shades of orange. Think like a chili oil. You know, it has a rich brown undertone and that little pop of red on the, orange on the top. It's really not a red, but it is a maybe like a combination of the red and the orange. Pumpkin colors, the deep oranges that we see, even into the lighter shades of orange, like on a tangerine or an orange itself. So orange is also going to be part of our color palette for this year, and it's going to mix really, really well with our browns. And you know, I think that I can see some of my deeper reds with this hot cocoa shade of brown mixing in with the richness of like a pumpkin spice blend. You know, the pumpkin, the maybe with a little touch of nutmeg, because you know, nutmeg and cinnamon, they both have those richness of the brown colors to it. So folks, we are really tying in a lot of our fall colors in with some of the more rich, deep tones of these reds and browns, as I said. Excuse me, I'm going to take a little sip here. So what can you make with these beautiful browns and oranges? Think of a chunky textured hat. Oh my goodness. And you know, brown, no matter what shade of brown it is, goes with most all hair colors. And if you take and you mix in a little bit of say a pumpkin color in with that brown, just enough to maybe tone it down a little or to even brighten it up. I mean, like I said, it would make a great hat for just about any excuse me, hair color. Think also of using your browns, whatever shade you choose, in a nice, cozy, chunky cardigan. Now, it can be a long cardigan, it can be a waist cardigan. Besides using the chunky material, you know it's going to help you to whip that cardigan out pretty quickly, but it also is going to give that nice earthy feeling that we get from our browns and oranges, like walking through a forest, seeing all those leaves change. I mean, just nothing else. Look to nature there to see what you can do with these beautiful colors. Now, oh my goodness, think of our blues and our greens. We're going to be seeing a lot of blue. In fact, I'm kind of surprised that blue wasn't named as the color choice or the main color for this year, but no, they chose the red. But we're going to be seeing a lot of our blues from like a hazy vapor to a deep, which is my the deep blues are more my color choices that are vintage inspired, like the what we call the lion blues. These colors offer a very calm and grounded feeling, and they're going to pair wonderfully with those warmer tones of the browns and oranges that we just discussed. Now our greens are going to be a little bit more muted. They're not going to be like bright and flashy that we've seen for spring and the summer. Our greens are going to be more of like what you would see down on the forest floor. Like think of a very pretty mossy green. Those are the kind of greens that we want to look at as far as bringing nature inside and letting it help to create for us a sense of quiet, calm, and peace. So think about using these greens, you know, in a beautiful little tote bag or in a cozy shawl that you can wrap up with while you're sitting there in front of the fire, or cozying up on the couch to watch one of your favorite old movies while you're sipping some hot cocoa or hot tea. So these blues and browns, no matter how vibrant you wish to make them, such as the blues and their deep, rich tones, think about mixing some of these more muted greens in with it, and you're going to come up with a beautiful, beautiful color combination there together. One of my favorite thing about all of these color trends for this year is how well the colors can be mixed and matched. So stop and think for a moment. Let's think about making a scarf that has stripes in it. So I would think about maybe using a deep, rich coffee brown with a let's say a nice deep blue like a navy, and then just throw in a pop of color like maybe a poppy red color, you know, like the red that you see from the poppy fields. Or how about taking that mossy green for a beanie and just adding a cute little creamy colored pom-pom on top. The colors this year, folks, can just come up with so many beautiful, beautiful color combinations. Now, I told you if you would stay with me here to the end, I can show you some ways in which you can actually take these colors and put them together. But if you need a little inspiration, many times I have said, now I don't go to the color wheel because number one, I can't figure that thing out. Yes, I understand the basic breakdown of here are your primary colors, here are your complementary colors, here are your triad colors, but I never can figure out how far on that wheel I can go out. So my best inspiration comes from nature, or looking at the paintings from old masters. I mean, because you know, they have a wonderful taste for color. So why not go and see what's already available to us when we are looking at, as I said, how am I going to take these colors and put them together? Well, here I have a couple of examples for you. Look at those beautiful blues. And how about this other? Just take a moment and soak in these few paintings and pictures that I pulled up for you. Now, if that doesn't give you something to inspire you as to how you can take this year's color trends and put them together, I don't know what will. But like I said, don't let yourself become overwhelmed. Take a moment, pull up a magazine, search out there on the internet, folks. Just type in, you know, Google or whoever you use, color trends for fall and winter 2025. And you will see just pictures and pictures of what's walking down the runway. But also take just a moment and pull up some museum pieces. Look for those colors that you know right now are trending and see what you can pull from there, what you can put together. Because you know, as I said in the beginning, having our multicolored yarns where they already have the colors put together for us, that's great. But they may not always be in the alignment that we want. So I really love taking just solid colors and mixing them in the way that I want my pattern to flow. So there you have it, a really quick guide to the color trends for this fall and winter 2025 colors. But before you start your next project, take a look at your yarn stash and see what you already have that might fit the color trends. You don't have to go out and buy new colors. Look and see what you've already have. Or if you're looking for an excuse to buy some new yarn, there you have it. I'd love to know what colors are that you're most excited to use for this year, and share with me out there on my Facebook page, or just send me an email, and the next time I go live, I'll be more than happy to share off your projects. Just let me know in the comments below what it is that excited you about the color trends for this fall and winter, and what is already stirring around in your head that you might like to go ahead and start putting together. Now, as I asked you before, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, hit that notification bell so that you don't miss any of my videos, and let me know what is going to be your next project that you're going to use with these new colors for the year. Once again, thank you so much for being here with me, and let me remind you to always be the light out there in the darkness for someone today, because you never know, could be your light that they need to see. I'll see you next time. Bye.